Before gender swapping for comedy was a cliche, there was Tootsie, a 1982 film where Dustin Hoffman put on a dress and accidentally sparked a national conversation.
It was progressive for its time, depending on who you ask, including us.
Is it clever? Is it cringe? Is it both? Absolutely.
We're revisiting Tootsie, complete with soap opera melodrama, elevator heels, and more wigs than plot points. This is the Shermer High Alumni Association. Hi there.
Hello.
Hi, good morning.
How are you, girls?
Totally phenomenal.
It's been
How are you
wonderful.
doing?
That's great. I'm wonderful as well. Thank you for asking.
Glad for
Oh.
both of you.
No problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how was your week watching Tootsie?
It was great.
Yeah. Is it what you remembered and all that you
No.
thought it would be?
No.
I agree. It was not what I remembered.
Really?
Yeah, no.
It's exactly
do you
how I remembered.
No, I don't remember like the storyline of it. I just remember that it was, Dustin Hoffman wearing a dress.
That's it. That's all you remember.
That's all I remember.
I'm pretty much the same way. I just remembered it being Dustin Hoffman wanting to be a woman. And then it's like this week, my mind just like exploded. I'm like, that's not really it at all.
No,
Right.
there's a whole story.
Right.
Yeah, there's an actual like pretty sweet script here.
Yeah.
So I was very surprised and happy that I rewatched it and got that connotation out of my mind.
It's got a great storyline that
So-
we must have missed as small children.
So this is another 1982 movie. 1982 is a big year. So this
It
came out
was.
in between Grease 2 and
Yeah, this came out on December 17th of 1982.
Yeah, it was a Christmas movie.
Oh. That's what sparked it. Was I was looking up like what was going on in 1982 because it came out in December, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wikipedia. Oh my gosh. Wikipedia, the number one line there.
that's
Isn't
actually
that hilarious? So, I was looking in Wikipedia, and I was like, "Wait a minute, what was going on?" And it was the Christmas Eve blizzard of '82, which it hit Denver, just in Denver, nobody else. The first U.S. execution by lethal injection was carried out in Texas. And our uncle and his partner founded Adobe Systems.
Yes. There's that.
I love that is what is in here in Wikipedia. Like,
Wow.
right? Like
Adobe and Tootsie.
Adobe and Tootsie.
That was a good month.
Hand in hand.
I was trying to put myself more into the years, like what was going on in those years. Do I remember those years? And I saw that and I thought that was yay.
So you were 8 when this came out?
Sure. Yes. Yeah.
I was 5.
That's
Good
adorable.
For you.
That's so adorable.
Thank you.
Also in 1982, let's just talk about some hot topics just for a second. Car designer John DeLorean is arrested for selling cocaine to undercover FBI agents.
Well, that was
nice.
October 30th, the DeLorean Motor Company ceases production.
I wonder why.
Shocking.
October of 1982, very important. Epcot opens at Walt Disney World,
Yay.
right? So woohoo!
Yes.
There was stuff going on.
Yeah. 82 was
Obviously.
a good year.
Who was the president? Ronald Reagan. The synopsis of this movie is that Michael Dorsey, played by Dustin Hoffman, is an unemployed actor, and he has a reputation of being really impossible to work with. And that's important. That's an important piece of this, is that he's just really hard to work with. In order to find the work and to fully fund his friend's play, asterisk to that, he takes advantage of a role that is being cast in a soap opera as a female hospital administrator, right? And so as a character actor, changes his persona to a woman who he names Dorothy Michaels, and he lands the part in the daytime drama Southwest General. Dorsey, so Michael loses himself in this female role, and he essentially becomes Dorothy Michaels, captivating all the women that watch the soap opera. And he sort of becomes a little bit of an icon and inspiring them to break free from the control of men and become more like Dorothy. It doesn't come without its hitches, because he ends up sort of in a rock and a hard place with Julie, who is played by Jessica Lange, that he ends up falling in love with. Her father falls in love with Dorothy, and hilarity ensues.
It is quite the conundrum, quite a
Yeah.
storyline.
What a love triangle.
It's very interesting. So, other actors that are in the film, we mentioned Dustin Hoffman and Jessica Lange. We also have Terry Garr, who plays Sandy Lester. What else was Terry Garr in? She was in a bunch of 80s movies.
Was she in?
Mr. Mom.
Mr. Mom, yes.
She's the mom, right?
Mhm.
Yes. She's the mom.
She wasn't in Pretty Woman, right?
No.
She wasn't that weird roommate at the end.
No.
Just kind of looked like her. No.
That was what's her name?
But she's been in quite a bit of stuff.
Yeah, she was in MASH.
I don't remember that.
Well, we used to watch MASH like it was going out of style at home.
Oh my God.
What, 7 o'clock?
p.m. 7:30 was
And
Hogan's.
then Jeopardy was 7:30.
Well, no, before Jeopardy, there was Hogan's Heroes. But I believe he turned off Hogan's Heroes and went to Jeopardy, right?
Oh, yeah.
So it was MASH, and then he would change the channel to Jeopardy and answer every question.
Every single question.
Correctly.
Correctly.
While making spam teriyaki.
Yes.
It was called Spam Oriental.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, whatever.
I don't think we use that term anymore.
We don't, but that's what it was called. It was actually like a recipe that Spam put out.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I remember he clipped the recipe out, and that's what he used.
Oh my God, that's adorable.
Yes. Our dad is adorable.
Terry Garr also did the vagina monologues.
Ooh.
So early 2000s. Oh, wow. They need to bring that back. They need to bring it back.
Wow. She had MS.
Anyway.
She has MS.
Oh, does she?
Yeah. That's what it said at the bottom. In October 2002, Garr confirmed that she has been diagnosed with multiple sclerosis.
Oh, man. And then she had a brain aneurysm in 2006.
Yep, and she died from complications of MS in her home in LA, surrounded by family and friends on October
Wow.
29th,
29? Yeah,
2024 at the age of 79.
Wow, it was recent.
Yeah.
Well, R.I.P. Terry Gore.
Yeah,
No,
we
but
loved you and Tootsie.
I
Yeah.
love that she like lived till 79, like in spite of, MS, a ruptured brain aneurysm, which, as you know,
Yeah.
like a friend of mine had gone through, and that
Yes.
is
Wow.
That's hard.
That's no easy feat. That's
No,
for
that's
damn
rough.
sure.
Well, besides Terry, we had Dabney Coleman, who played Ron Carlisle. And he was the director within Southwest General on the show, which
Right.
is another cool tidbit, like just from a screenwriting perspective of writing a script for a movie that is also filming a show. So you have those couple of parallels there that's can be quite troublesome, you would think, to some screenwriters, but they pulled it off really well. So what else was Dabney Coleman in?
So
He also died last year. Jeesh.
Wow.
At 92.
Wow.
Good job, Dabney Coleman.
Oh, yes, he was in 9 to 5.
He was 9 to 5.
Yeah.
He was the boss.
Yes.
And On Golden Pond. I
Mm,
wonder if we should add that to the list. I
sure.
wonder.
Oh, no, I've never heard of that.
I have.
I love it. Came out
Interesting.
the year you were
Oh,
born.
yeah, he was in Yellowstone. Okay.
His final role was an appearance on Yellowstone.
Yeah.
What did he play?
That's awesome. And then we also had Charles Durning as Les Nichols, who was Julie's father. Was he in anything notable?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Now, if you asked me what it was,
He was in the Muppet movie.
He was in the Muppet movie. Yes.
Hell yeah.
But The Sting, Dick Tracy, and
the best little whorehouse.
he ended up being an Oh Brother Where Art Thou, which weirdly we were talking about that movie last night, so that's weird.
Oh, and the best little whorehouse in Texas.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so he died back in 2012 at the age of 89.
Wow, and he served in World War II, and he was decorated for valor in combat.
Good job.
That's nice.
Charles Durning. That's a hard last name to say. Durning. And then
the famous Bill Murray.
He plays Jeff Slater, playwright, and he is Michael's roommate.
And he insisted on not being credited in this movie. And he also improvised all of his lines.
You can totally tell. No one can write that logic that he just spews out.
Especially like in the scene at the party where he's sitting at the table.
The party scene,
yes.
Oh my God. It's just brilliant.
Bill Murray can just blurt that out.
Right.
I immediately thought, I bet this is improvised.
Yep.
And he did it really well.
He really did. He really did. And then Sidney Pollack, who was the director of the film, plays Michael's agent, George Fields. And Sidney Pollack is okay, and he died. Is anybody from this film still alive?
Dustin Hoffman.
Okay.
Gina Davis.
Yeah. Hopefully Jessica Lange. I believe she's still alive.
I believe so.
He directed Out of Africa. Obviously, Tootsie. He did a lot of films I've never seen. Very young Gina Davis.
This was her first film.
Was it?
Yep.
And
I guess Dustin Hoffman kind of took her under his wing and taught her all the tips and tricks of acting.
Did he?
He did.
I read something where she didn't even know she did not have to be on set on days she wasn't in a scene.
Yes.
She showed up all the time. And they're like,
Showed
you're
up.
not in any of the scenes.
Yeah, like you don't need to be here.
You're right. Like it was
But
a actual full-time job of having to be there.
yeah,
Aw.
I know.
We didn't
And
really
isn't
talk
like
about
the very first scene we see of her is just in her bra and underwear?
yeah.
It's like, welcome to Gina Davis.
Yes. And Gina Davis. We
Yes.
kind of glossed over Dustin Hoffman and Jessica Lange and like what they've accomplished. Dustin Hoffman, 2 Academy Awards, 4 BAFTAs, 5 Golden Globes, 2 Primetime Emmys. So
he's a goat.
he's yeah, and
He is pretty epic.
I mean, if he's he was nominated for a Tony. He received the Cecil DeMille Award and the AFI Lifetime Achievement Award and a Kennedy Center Honors Award.
Okay.
He's kind of a big deal.
He is
He
kind of a
is.
big deal. And everyone really knows him from Kramer versus Kramer, Rain Man, which I know is on our list. Most famous would be The Graduate, for sure.
What was the last thing he did? Where has he been?
Well, he is 87.
Really?
He is 87 years old.
Wow.
I think
Okay, so he was 21 when this was filmed? 22?
huh,
Oh no, he was born in 37. I'm
37.
sorry.
Sorry, 37.
Sorry, I was looking at the 60.
So he was 45 in that role.
Wow.
Yeah.
One of you 45.
Shut up.
No, I'm much
No.
younger than that.
You wish.
45 is in between mine and Janine's age.
Yeah, you're not quite 45 yet.
No, I'm not. I have a little ways to go on that.
Yeah.
Good for you. Good for you, Carol.
Thanks.
Proud of you.
Thanks. I'm trying.
Sound really great.
Well, there's George Gaines too.
Oh yeah.
He
Oh
was
my
John Van
gosh.
Horn. And
Yes.
he doesn't look like it, but he's freaking hilarious. He
Oh
was
my
in Police
gosh.
Academy,
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Punky Brewster, and he was also in General Hospital.
So Tootsie, like you said, Tootsie came out in December of 82. It grossed $241 million, becoming the 3rd highest grossing film of 1982. What were the first 2? E.T. I'm just guessing. Yeah, so E.T. It says 3rd, but it's reported as the 2nd of E.T. Tootsie, Officer and a Gentleman. Oh, Porky's. Is Porky's on our list?
I thought so.
Oh, is it? Okay, yeah, that's going to be. We should watch that one soon because oh my God, that's got to be horrible.
I've never seen that. So it grossed what, 241 million worldwide
Mm-hmm.
and 177 million in America. The
Yes.
budget on it was 15 million. So that's pretty awesome.
Good.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So, fun facts, the character of Dorothy originally did not speak with a Southern accent. And in doing research, Dustin Hoffman discovered that his voice fell more closely into the range of a female pitch while doing a Southern accent. And most of Bill Murray's dialogue was improvised, which we talked about earlier. Though the working title for the film was originally Would I Lie to You? Dustin Hoffman suggested the title Tootsie. Tootsie was the name of his mother's dog.
Was the name Tootsie ever really said in the movie?
I counted once.
I was going to say maybe once.
And there's the song.
There's the song, yeah. So it's like Tootsie really has no correlation to the actual script.
Movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
But didn't what's his name call her Tootsie at one point?
Saying.
One time.
Okay. It was one time. It was mentioned one time in the movie.
It's like if we're gonna call it this, we should probably say it once.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They plugged it in.
Let's name this movie after my mom's dog.
Yes,
Right.
that makes sense.
Right.
And also, Andy Warhol was in the movie, but he's uncredited and he plays himself.
I was wondering if that was actually him too.
It is.
In the photo shoots, I was like, is that really
Yeah.
him?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
was like, yep, there he is.
unbelievable.
That's pretty cool. So Rotten Tomatoes has given this a 91%, which is, I think, pretty
Crazy.
phenomenal
Yeah.
For Rotten Tomatoes, that's
for
pretty
Rotten
high.
Tomatoes, and an 81% on the popcorn meter. So our wonderful critic Roger Ebert actually gave this 4 stars, which I feel
Shocking.
like for him, yeah, that's pretty good. And he said, in quote, "The wig and the glasses are a little too much, true, but in an uncanny way, the woman played by Hoffman looks like certain actual women who look like drag queens. Dorothy might have trouble passing in Evanston, but in Manhattan, nobody gives her a second look. She's a liberated eccentric, a woman who seems sort of odd and funny at first, but grows on you and wins your admiration by standing up for what's right." So that's quite a praise from Mr. Ebert.
There is a quote about this movie that I feel is really important because this kind of helped me watch this obviously through a new lens of today, but also now being older. So this is another Ebert quote. Tootsie is the kind of movie with a capital M that they used to make in the 1940s when they weren't afraid to mix up absurdity with seriousness, social comment with farce, and a little heartfelt tenderness right in there with the laughs. And I thought that that was really a great opinion. It's his opinion about this movie. Because when I was watching it, there was a certain scene between George and Michael when they were in George's office. I think it was like middle of the night. And there was this back and forth about who's in love with who. Well, he's in love with Dorothy, but I'm in love with Julie. Well, is Dorothy in love with Julie? And it was just this back and forth. It was like, this is that type of comedy that Ebert's talking about from the 1940s, like that absurdness. And so that just it kind of clicked for me and I went, okay, I'm not going into this rageful that this is some sort of infringement on like trans actors or anything like that. So it really did help me put this in perspective.
Good.
Excellent.
So let's jump into it.
Let's
do
go.
it. So we start off where the movie kind of shows that Michael Dorsey is putting on different costumes and kind of going through some props. He's trying on some fake mustaches. We see Terry Garr for the first time. She is attending an acting class that is put on by Michael Dorsey.
So from the get-go, being that he is leading this class, you think that he's this great accomplished actor.
Yes.
He
Which I
has all of
think
these students.
to an extent he is because he's well known enough, right? That people don't want to work with him, right? Or no?
Yeah, it's hard to tell if he actually succeeded in doing anything or if he was just fired from everything.
Ah, true. True.
I'm sorry. Go on, Janine.
So you can see that like he's trying out for all these different plays. He's not getting any roles. All these different would it be directors who are having people try out for plays?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a theater person. Telling him that he's either too old for the role, he's not old enough, he's too tall, he's too short. So for many different reasons, they're just like, yeah, no. Then you kind of see him Michael Dorsey works in a restaurant as a server to make some money because he's obviously not getting any roles in plays. And the next scene is Bill Murray and Michael Dorsey are entering his apartment. And they're, I think that Bill Murray,
Jeff.
Jeff, is throwing him a surprise birthday party. And all of his friends are there and they're just really happy to see him. And this is where you kind of learn that Michael is kind of a creepy womanizer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's working a room.
He really is. And it's really kind of creepy.
Well, and I
Very.
think that goes to the play, right? You really
Yeah.
want to get this strong feeling that Michael has some loose morals, perhaps.
Yes.
It's a good way to put it.
Correct.
So then Sandy is talking to a guy, and I didn't rewind it. But I was like, is that Carl from Breakfast Club, the janitor? Sandy's talking to a guy. I'm almost positive it was him, but it was kind of this like side shot. I didn't rewind it, and I should have.
I guess it's possible.
I think it was.
And that was her date. She brought a date to the party because she made a comment that her date
Oh yeah, her
left
date
with
left
someone
with someone
else.
else.
And that's when she asked if Michael had any seconal.
Yeah.
Seconal.
Yeah. Angela and
You
I
should-
were watching it, and she turns. Did she just ask for seconal?
So that is a central nervous system depressant that some physicians use in assisted dying, physician-assisted dying. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Also, in certain doses, was a sleeping aid.
Yeah.
Well, maybe a permanent sleep if you take too much.
At certain dosages, yes.
Yeah.
So after the party, well, I mean, do we want to talk about what Jeff is telling the people when he's sitting at the
That
table?
scene is so great. It's such a fantastic scene. He is so brilliant.
He's
Well, I can't
talking
really-
about only wanting his plays done in the rain. Was that right? When it's raining out? I think that was one part of it.
He didn't want to see people who liked his plays.
Yeah.
I forget what he said, what he really wanted somebody to come up to him. I don't remember what he said.
Now I'm gonna look it up. I don't like it when people come up to me after my plays and say, I really dug your message, man. Or, I really dug your play, man. I cried. You know, I like it when people come up to me the next day or a week later and they say, I saw your play. What happened?
Right.
Mm. Yeah. So you get enthralled in the storyline. You want to know what happened beyond that closing scene. Very profound.
this is really-
Jeff Slater.
Jeff is such a
Great character.
yeah, he really is.
So this is kind of when the party's dying down and Sandy says, you know, hey, my date left with somebody else, and Michael offers to walk Sandy home, and they get outside and Michael can tell that there's something wrong, and he says, will you tell me what's wrong or I'll kill ya?
I always talk to my friends like that. I don't see the
Yeah.
problem here.
Same.
very very interesting line.
Jeez. At least throat punch. I mean, kill? Jeez.
Right. Yeah, it's
Little
an interesting
rough.
line.
She wasn't getting any gigs.
She wasn't getting any gigs and she just didn't feel like she belonged there, and
Yeah.
blah blah blah.
She was in her feels.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they work on the audition together, and he goes with her the next day to National for
Yeah, so-
this open call.
Yeah,
for
so he
Southwest.
goes back to her house that night and helps her with her lines so that she'll be prepared for the next morning. And then Michael goes with her, and you can definitely tell this was the 80s, that when they get into that waiting room, because everybody's smoking.
Going back on it now, just remembering just ridiculous. Like McDonald's. You could smoke in restaurants, you could
Yeah.
smoke like, and I remember because I think I started smoking, I don't smoke anymore. The I started smoking like at 14. And I remember like
Yikes.
it was the biggest deal. Like we would go to the Taco Bell. Some high school friends and I would go to that Taco Bell down in Detroit by the library. And I remember Taco Bell ashtrays. And we would sit there, we would order shit on a shingle, which was like, I don't know, 49 cents. And we would sit there and just smoke.
That's cool.
And we used to go to the airport
Oh, yes.
and watch people before like TSA existed. It was like this lounge area. And we would sit there and we were probably also stoned, but
Most likely.
you could just sit there in the airport and just smoke.
I loved that. It was so much fun.
It was so
I
much
remember
fun.
going to restaurants with mom and dad. And
Yeah.
even when I was a teenager, and you would have to say,
Smoking or non-smoking.
yeah, party for two, non-smoking.
Right. It was just, and we were able to smoke in, well,
I remember Westgate Mall you could smoke in.
yeah, you could smoke in Westgate. And I was able to smoke in bars well into the late 90s. I think it was the end of the 90s that they started putting bans on smoking in public places. So I would say up till and I would say 99-ish, we were smoking in places.
Yep.
So they're there, everyone's smoking.
Yep.
Sandy's getting ready to audition.
Yep. And they don't even let her read for the part. So Michael's like, hold on, I'm going to make this work. And then he's kind of talking to the secretary there, and he's like, is so-and-so still here? And she says, no, he actually got this role that apparently Michael Dorsey was supposed to get. And he immediately just takes off and he goes to his agent's office, like just leaves Sandy there and just takes off. And this is where his agent is like, yeah, nobody wants to hire you. You're just too hard to work with. Get some therapy, man. Like, you need some help with your anger and how mean you are to people. And, some of these roles, you're like arguing with these producers, and that's not really your place. And
Your
he's like,
back and
yeah, but
forth though is like really great though. He's like,
yeah,
he wanted me to walk to the center of the stage to die. Like, his reasons are valid because he's very serious
Yeah.
about what he does, right?
He's very logical about the steps he's taking within these scenes.
Yes.
But you have to throw that out. If the producer or director tells you to do something, you do it.
right.
The logic is out the window.
Not Michael Dorsey.
Yeah, nobody will hire you. And so how does he?
And then
Because
it just cuts. It just cuts to him walking his Tootsie down the street in Manhattan.
Yeah, it's pretty abrupt. Like there's no steps of where his mindset went after that. It was just boom, he's a
It was
woman.
boom.
I think it was because the agent says nobody will hire you.
Correct.
And it kind
So
of
he
clicks in
figures-
his brain like, wait, they won't hire me, but they would hire a woman.
Or
that
somebody
role.
that's not
Also-
me. Somebody who's not Michael
Right.
Dorsey. Yeah.
And so it
And
must
now
click in his.
he could have made himself into a different man.
Yeah, but this was an open role. It was a permanent role. It, because that's forefront on his mind because he literally just walked out of
That audition, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So now Michael is Dorothy Michaels. And Dorothy shows up to audition for Southwest General. Luckily, they actually let her read. But at first, Mr. Carlisle tells her she's not right for the part. And Dorothy decides, you know what? I'm going to knee him. I think, does she knee him in the crotch?
No.
No, that's not this.
No.
No, this is where she just had the choice words.
Yeah, she calls him a macho shithead.
I wish I could do a Southern accent. I
I'm
can't,
not
so
gonna
I'm not going to
try.
try. You want some
Me either.
gross caricature of a woman? Shame on you, you macho shithead. Like, bravo, Dorothy.
So they let Dorothy Michaels read the part of Emily, and they decide that they like her. This is the part where Mr. Carlisle says, I'd like to make her a little bit more attractive. How far can you pull back to the cameraman? And the cameraman says, Cleveland.
Cleveland.
There's our Cleveland reference.
There's our Cleveland
Yes.
reference.
So we've had a couple movies where we get a little nod.
Because people don't want to admit that they love Cleveland. And we
It's
also
like
don't
those
want you to love Cleveland. Don't go
It's like
there.
those stupid stickers that say stuck in Ohio. And
Yeah.
every time I see them on somebody's car, I'm like, nobody's forcing you to stay
No one's
here.
making you
You're
stay
in
here.
a car. Why don't you just drive to another state? Like, nobody's forcing you to live here.
Nobody's forcing you to live here. Leave. Go to Pennsylvania.
Right. We don't
It's like they could
want
have
you here.
from New York City, they could have said Pittsburgh or even Chicago. But it's like it all just comes down to Cleveland.
It really does.
It really
like,
does.
What is it? The 6 degrees to Kevin Bacon. That's 6 degrees to
Right.
Cleveland in every situation. I swear to God.
Exactly.
Oh, and then one of the quotable lines happens here, where she says, "I said good day, sir."
Yes. I said good day, sir.
I love that. That's one of the quotable lines out of the movie for sure. So then he goes and
So they give him the role. They tell him they'll send the paperwork over to his agent. And he's like, oh, wait a minute. My agent's going to go, who is
I don't
this
have
person?
this isn't my client.
Right. So he goes to the agent and kind of confronts him dressed as Dorothy in a restaurant.
Well, in front of the restaurant,
In front of the restaurant, she just asks,
he doesn't confront him. She just
No.
approaches him and just kind of fucks with him.
Yeah.
Like,
It was
"Hi,
very
ma'am,
funny.
I'm looking for, the restaurant.
The
they're at.
Russian tea
The
room.
Russian
The
tea
Russian
room.
tea
Well,
room.
you're at it, and he goes on, and then it's just one of those comedic scenes that is, goes back to that whole reminiscent of like 1940s absurdity comedy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And then so he basically explains to the agent, like, hey, this is what I had to do. You said nobody would hire me, but I just got hired for this role. It's just not me. It's, Dorothy. And so, you'll make money off of this. So you should just, kind of go along with this. And Michael says, hey, I need you to give me $1,000 so I can buy clothes to be Emily. Apparently he gave him the money, because then we have this fashion scene where
It's like this whole Pretty Woman moment. Pretty Woman
Yes.
had to have taken it from this. I swear to God. Like, he's just coming in and out of all the stores and buying all the clothes
and all the bags
and Carol, you're our what's $1,000 today?
Ooh.
$3,300.
Okay.
Wow.
So that would get you some stuff.
I feel like that's a decent amount of money if you're
It's
not shopping on Rodeo Drive.
No, but he is shopping. He's buying Halston. He's buying name brand stuff. That still wouldn't get you very far today.
Okay.
A Halston would cost you more than that.
Especially in New York
He's not
City.
going to Old Navy.
No. I mean, I'm thinking like Macy's, you could probably get some decent.
But that's not what he was shopping.
No, you're right.
I don't think it like.
Yeah, he needed to impress. I get it.
Because he was in Cachet, and that sparked something. So I don't know if, one, was Cachet a real store? 2, was there one at the mall? Because it definitely looked familiar, but I couldn't remember. Well,
yeah,
I noted it.
I don't remember either. If there familiar. was, I don't think I ever shopped there.
No, and I don't think any of us would have because it was like an adult's store.
We need to phone a friend. Can we call our
Can
mom?
we have a phone a friend? Can someone text mom and ask her
Yes.
if Cache was an actual store? And then we'll get back to that.
Are you doing that, Carol, or should I?
I can do that.
I'm on it. I
Okay,
already have
you
it
just
pulled up.
asked her.
I know, but I thought
Why did you say Carol?
she
You
had her-
do
What the
that.
hell?
What the
she
hell?
had her head down like she was texting already. That's why I was
Oh,
asking.
no, sorry.
And so Michael gets. So is that the quote where he's like, "I don't know how a woman can keep herself attractive and not starve these days." Was that him who said that? Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he's talking to Jeff, right? He's back at home, and him and Jeff are trying to figure out, because I guess Dorothy's been funded already. I don't know how that works. Like her contract has been financed. And so like, he knows he's going to get this $8,000, right? Hopefully more than that. But like, Jeff's like, well, how are you going to explain to Sandy that you've come up with this $8,000?
Yep.
And now I'm remembering why he is doing it, because he's going to produce it.
Correct. So he tells her that he inherited $8,000 from what, a dead aunt or something?
Right. Because that's what Jeff says to him. What are you going to tell her? You inherited this amount from a dead aunt? And then that's exactly what he tells Sandy.
Yeah, and Sandy's
Poor-
like, "Wow, that's amazing that you inherited exactly how much money you needed, and she bought it." Like,
hook, line,
okay,
and sinker. And
Yeah.
I can't tell if I feel for Sandy. I don't know.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of like
Yeah.
you're right on the border. Like you could tip the scale either way. She is, yeah. Well,
So
so
they
she was
decide
just.
to go to dinner
Well, no, she was just about to get into the shower, right? And then
because they're going to
they're
dinner.
they're gonna go to dinner. Okay.
And then we find Michael looking at her clothes. Like this scene just got to me.
Did not make
He's looking at
sense.
her clothes and it's like, okay, she's in the shower. And then he undresses to try on a dress. It's like, how long did you think she was going to be in the shower?
1, 2. You just went shopping, bro. You
Yeah,
Right,
just
don't
went
you have enough
shopping.
clothes?
Why do you got to be trying on her clothes like that again? That comedic factor comes back in too, right? But it's still, bro, you just went shopping. Don't
No,
try
well,
and
maybe he
steal.
was wanted to try on a dress for a different fit or style to see if he could pull it off. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt on that one. But his timing on this is all off. And then he puts himself in this predicament of being caught by her, being only in his skimpies, and he has to just like by default say that he wants her, and then they have sex. It's like, you come on, dude. Like, he really set himself up for this.
Huge mistake.
Yeah.
Huge mistake.
Yeah. And doesn't she say, "Are you ever going to call me again?" Or something? "Are you going to call me tomorrow?"
She lays out her life history on dating, and
Yeah.
yeah, she just
Sandy.
sounds like a shit show from the get-go.
Yeah.
I get that they had to insert some level of conflict here. I just don't know that Sandy was used in the best way.
For sure not.
Like, because you constantly, as we go on, you constantly see he's fucking her over. But moving on. It's his first day. Next day is his first day.
And he insists on doing his own makeup because otherwise those makeup people are going to know.
Yes.
Yeah, he says he has an allergy. But he says that about the makeup, but what about the clothes? Like, were they expected to provide their own clothes back then? And I
No.
understand the clothes were to cover up his Adam's apple, but I don't think that they actually addressed um Dorothy Michaels providing her own clothes.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think maybe you just kind of assume since like he's doing his own makeup that he's just getting ready at home and then they're just accepting it for whatever he wears.
Okay, so we get into filming, and so everyone kind of forewarns Dorothy that Dr. Brewster always
He's
kisses the
very
girls,
yeah, he's very touchy-feely.
and Michael's going to have none of that. So, Emily on set, when that scene comes to happen, like Dorothy, there's so many, like so many names for this one character, right?
Yes.
Dorothy improvises, does not do the line, and ends up hitting him over the head with her file folders. And then they cut.
Yeah. And all the women on set are just like, yes.
Right. Right. And so then it's that afternoon, because that day Julie asks Dorothy to come over.
Yeah. She's got 26 pages to go over.
Mm-hmm.
And she needs her to help her read her lines. And apparently, Michael was supposed to also be at Sandy's for dinner at the same time. Well, a little bit later in the evening. He doesn't show up for that dinner with Sandy and screws her over yet again.
And he
But I
lies
think,
to her yet again.
yeah, and he
Mm-hmm.
finally shows up at like 10:30 at night for their dinner that was like, at dinner time.
Right. Like, why would you even bother at that point? Why, and he does fall into that. Like,
He just keeps like repeatedly lying to Sandy and like all these
Yeah.
weird excuses. I'm sick. I'm sick again. Like, just like, what did he use as the excuse for being late for the dinner? He fell asleep. Something happened. And she believes him.
she
She just
believes
always like
all of
believes
this.
him. It was like, come on, Sandy, wake up. So
I think this is the point where I questioned if she always had feelings for him or if this was just happening that she was like obsessed with him pretty much just because they had sex one time.
Right.
yeah, I
Like,
think
and she doesn't proclaim that she always had feelings for him. So it's like, well, if you just had kind of like a one night stand, I get that this is your friend, but wouldn't you just kind of brush this off?
And she probably thought that since he slept with her and he said, like, I really want you, she probably thought like he really liked her.
Yeah. And she was what, 34 years old, she said? She's as the character.
I think so.
Something around that. It's like, girl, what were you doing in your 20s? Haven't you seen this time and time again
Right.
to know that this is all bullcrap?
You get into the next where they're kind of like, it looks like they're all in a parking lot, right? Like lined up, giving autographs.
Oh yeah.
Because that's when you see Julie's dad for the first time.
Or weren't they out in front of the building?
Yeah, they're just outside
Just
the front
standing in front of
doors.
Okay.
yeah.
So Julie's father is there, and you're like, and he's, giving Dorothy or Emily, I guess.
Dorothy, Emily.
Dorothy, Emily,
Emily, Kimberly.
Emily,
Michael, whatever.
Kimberly. All these names are like first names. It's just like,
Right.
It's very
it's
confusing.
very confusing. And so he kind of gives her a coffee, and you're like, oh, like,
Yeah, so you can tell like Julie introduces them and you can tell that her dad is kind of like, ooh, hey girl. Yeah, and then they show that like Emily starts receiving all these fan letters in the mail and becoming very popular. And, you can tell that she's become like this very,
icon, like a
yeah,
feminist icon. So
yes.
she's very like stands up for herself, stands up for her girls at the hospital, and it just starts kind of going into a montage where you just see all these like fan letters piling up like on a table or something. And that's the Tootsie song, right?
Yes, the Tootsie song.
And so you've got this whole
Insert the Tootsie song.
montage. It is all the magazine
Yes, and so
covers are terrible.
they start doing like these glamour shots of her, and like in these very interesting outfits, and like one she's like a cowgirl, and like just all these crazy outfits, and then they're doing all these like magazine covers, and it was I don't know, that whole scene I was laughing so hard. And then the
And
like
they did this like sort of camera thing. I don't know, Carol, you might know what it's called, or but like in the glamour shots, it was like pose 1, 2, 3.
oh
Pose
yeah
1, 2, 3. And it was like, oh my god, this is too much. This is too much. Stop it.
yes yes, they sort of kept going from like different, yeah, it was very interesting. And then like the last magazine cover is with Andy Warhol,
Yeah. Just
just randomly Andy Warhol.
Andy Warhol has nothing to do with anything but
Soap opera related.
or soap opera
Right.
related.
Just Andy Warhol on a magazine cover with Dorothy, aka Emily Kimberly.
Is this where okay, so then his agent and him go to a party.
At Phil Weintraub's Friday
Oh.
night party.
I love the idea of a Friday night party.
I know.
I know. There was something
We
I
used to do
read.
monthly game nights, but I think someone should just have a weekly party.
Thanks for the invite.
This was years ago.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the party. But this throws something back. So when Dorothy and Julie were working on the lines and they were talking and Julie's throwing back the wine, she tells Dorothy, she's like, I would just rather, a guy be honest with me and just come up to me and say, and she says this like line of, basically, I just want to have sex with you. Right.
Yeah. I really like you. I want to make love to you.
Yeah. Which is cringe.
Yes.
And so at Phil Weintraub's party, Julie is kind of being accosted by that one director that they see in the Russian tea room. And he's trying to get Julie to, commit to be in a play for him or something.
We have to notate that at Phil Weintraub's party, he is Michael. He's not dressed as Dorothy.
He is Michael. So Julie doesn't know him from Adam.
Yeah, she has no idea who he is.
No idea who he is. She ends up out on a balcony and Michael goes out and serves that line.
Yeah.
Why? So this is where Michael is still a douchebag, right? Where he felt
very
like
much so.
He knew because she said the line to him that he could say it to her and that it was going to work.
Yeah, he really thought that that's how he was going to get her.
And did he really think that was going to work?
Yeah, he did.
I think he did because it was what she said. And then, so now we've been at this maybe a couple months, right? We've gotten through the glamour shot, and so maybe it's Christmas.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Thanksgiving. I don't know.
I think she invites Emily to her dad's for Thanksgiving.
Okay, that would make more sense.
Yeah, because I didn't see a Christmas tree anywhere.
There was no decor. There was no snow.
Right, yeah, but it was fall like
the holidays.
Yeah,
the
it
holidays.
Wasn't a specific could have been. Yeah, so they take the train up to her dad's. He calls Sandy. He's sick again.
And Sandy's buying it.
I would be telling him to be consulting doctors at this point.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds
Something's
like
probably like very wrong with you.
that's
So
true.
up at the farm, e- everything is
Very romantic.
creepy.
Yeah. Very,
So this is
very creepy.
complicated, right? And this is another one of those, okay, absurdity. This is absurdity. So you've got Dorothy up there as Julie's friend,
Mm-hmm.
Michael as Dorothy falling in love with Julie,
Mm-hmm.
Les, Julie's father, falling in love with Dorothy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like triangles among triangles. And
And then there's the baby.
Amy.
Amy.
Yeah.
Amy the baby.
Amy the baby.
Do we know who Amy's dad is? Is it that director?
No,
No.
she makes it seem like he's like some guy that's just not in the scene anymore.
Some guy that just came up to her and said, I want to make love to you.
Ah, possibly.
Didn't
Ooh.
you learn your lesson?
Right? And
Mm.
then again, this is a musical montage. And you've got the one piece where Dorothy is riding on the back of a tractor with Les, which was weird.
Very weird.
And then they're like in the meadows,
Yes.
and Julie hands Amy to Dorothy, and he's holding her like
Like
you
an
would, like
alien.
any man who's never held a baby would hold a baby.
Yeah, like holding her out like
But then he starts to kind of get more comfortable with Amy.
yeah.
And then
It's-
he's like he's like kissing her head.
all
And
in
so-
like a 30-second time span.
Right. And so I think this is the part of the movie in which Michael is really starting to realize how wonderful the people are around him.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Or
Like,
how the concept of a family isn't so bad.
right. And that these are good people. And so, it pans to them having dinner. I had to pause the movie. And Les is sort of conveyed as this like widowed dad who falls in love with Dorothy. I think he's creepy. Like they're sitting at the dining room table and he just has this like he's barely got his eyes open and he's just like staring at her. And I don't know if that's like lust or it's what, but it's gross.
It was old
It's-
man creepy
It was
vibes.
old man creepy vibes.
The whole
I just said that.
like being at his house and like the way that he acts towards her the whole time is creepy.
Yeah.
It was like set up. It just gave you like this vibe like he was planning to like do something weird to her.
Which I think he was.
Yeah.
Which I think he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they're having a good time. They're around the piano and singing and telling funny stories. And then Julie bows out. She's going to go to bed. She's going to go seepies.
She's very tired. She's got a
And
baby
then
to take care of.
Yes. And then it's Dorothy and Les. You get a second scene because I think the first one happened with the director where a comment like and I felt his speech was convoluted, but he was saying the same thing the director was, women think they can be as entitled as men, but like truly they can't. Did you get that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For sure.
And so he says this, bulls are bulls, roosters don't try and lay eggs. And I was like, that line, that whole
Yeah. And
conversation could have been a completely different conversation and not horrible.
yeah. And he says, like, I'm all for women's rights, but sometimes women think that they should be entitled like men.
Right. This is not a sweet
What?
guy. And it's mentioned later. I was like, that Les is a sweet guy. And I was like,
No, he's
I
not.
don't,
No, not so much.
He's creepy. Very creepy. We also have to mention that Julie and Dorothy have to share a bedroom in the same bed.
Which this farmhouse looks like it has plenty of bedrooms,
Right.
but they do say that the one was it
oh,
one bedroom was being redone or something?
no, the floor. Like there was
Oh,
another
the
floor that was
floor.
like walled off or like,
I would
Yeah.
have slept on the couch.
I know.
I would have been like,
Yeah.
oh, you know what? No.
I didn't sign up for this.
I'm just gonna sleep on the couch, you guys. I'll just
But
use an outhouse or something.
of course he wants to sleep in the same bed as her, but then he has to keep the persona, even though he probably should have anyway, just in case.
Yeah.
But
So he's got the wig with the curlers in it. And
yes,
yeah. And he gets like,
he was prepped for that, like
he
prepped
was
for
Yeah.
bedtime.
prepped. He
He
was
had like the nightgown.
the sleeping coat. What were those? I don't know what those were called. I owned one as a very young child. I don't remember what they're called. But so he gets in kind of like basically like sleeping in your robe. And then Julie's awake. And she has this way about her in her act. I think it's her acting. I don't know if it's
well,
Yeah, so then we get into Michael starts his hair, and Julie's like, "Oh, that's nice."
so I kind of took this like from the Michael role of he wants to have that intimate connection with her. But then
Yeah,
also from the Dorothy role, she was trying to kind of be that mother role that she's been lacking since her mom died. But I didn't
yes.
think it was too creepy. I thought
I
it was
mean,
very sweet.
what did you think was creepy?
the hair stroking.
I thought the weird head. No, I see what you're saying, Carol. But it was weird head petting. It's like,
I guess I didn't
It
notice
was
the
cringy.
intricacy of the petting.
Yeah, it was a little cringy head
but I
petting
get
for
like
me.
what you're saying, Carol, does make sense. Like,
Yeah, didn't think about it that way.
I didn't think about it that way.
Well,
That
that's why
wasn't the
we're all
vibe.
here.
Yeah, that wasn't the vibe I got, but I'm glad that we get to see it from your perspective also. So yes, they get on the train and they just go home the next morning. And they're back on set. And Julie's dad sends Emily chocolates.
Which okay, that's sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was it's a heart, box of chocolates that's a heart. After she rejected him, Emily gets called into Rita's office, and Emily is notified that they love her, and she's the first woman character who's really her own lady, and they're going to give her another year contract, and she's going from $650 to $850 an episode. Now, is that $650?
Yeah.
Okay, so now she's going to be making $200 more per episode. And I think this is where she kind of freaks out, like, oh God, I have to do this for a whole other year.
Which
So
he absolutely does not want to do, right?
yeah, he
He
doesn't want to
absolutely like
do this.
he's got because he's gotten his money, right? And he has the money to fund his play.
Right.
So he wants out of this, right?
Yeah, because I mean, I don't believe that he could keep that up for another year, you know?
So Michael was at home with Jeff trying to figure out ways to get out of this contract.
Ah, yes.
So he was like trying to, it doesn't seem like he was seriously trying to, but he was trying to overdose. And he asked Jeff if he had any Valium.
Can you take that many Valium?
Yeah, so he was popping Valium, and Jeff said, "Can you take that many Valium?" And Michael said, "We'll see."
So Emily's back over at Julie's apartment, and apparently there to babysit Amy.
Dorothy is
Oh,
at
Dorothy. I'm sorry.
Emily's the character. Dorothy's the person.
Yeah, it's so confusing. So Dorothy is there to babysit Amy. And Julie is planning to go out with Mr. Carlisle and break up with him. And so
Why are you calling him Mr. Carlisle?
Because I don't remember what his first name is, and so it was easier to just call him Mr. Carlisle.
Ron.
Whatever.
He looks like a Ron.
Ron shows up to pick her up for the date. Dorothy tells Ron that she doesn't like the way that he treats Julie. And Ron basically admits that he lies to her just to keep her happy.
And he's been seeing other people.
He's been seeing other ladies. And so now, Michael knows that Ron is a piece of shit and doesn't deserve Julie. So that just makes him
And that's a great moment. Like, I know you better than you think I do. But right? Because that was Michael's persona, right? Was Ron Carlisle for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
But now, because like Michael has changed as a person and he's seeing the grossness that is or was him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And so Julie breaks it off with Ron, and this is where everything goes downhill, right? Everything goes downhill from here because they're sitting there and, and Julie is saying, that she's never been lonely. And since she's met Dorothy, she has never felt lonelier in her whole life. And it's just an interesting line that she says. It seems like it's a dig at Dorothy, but it's not.
It's really not.
And that's when Dorothy tries to kiss Julie, and then all hell breaks loose.
Yeah.
Then it, fast forward a little bit,
we kind of skipped over the scene where, Dorothy is babysitting Amy.
Oh, yeah.
And it's pretty
that was funny. Yeah.
Because he obviously has never really taken care of a child before. And she just screams the whole entire time. And I mean, honestly, he takes it like a champ. And then
of course, there's the cliche mom line of, "Oh, she's not going to wake up. She's down for the night."
She's down for the night.
Yeah.
And then when Julie gets home, she's like, was she okay for you? And he's like, oh, yeah, she's great. So that was a funny part.
So Les takes Dorothy to dinner. And I think Dorothy is trying to come up with a way to just kind of quash this. And he wants to dance with her. So they get up and they dance. And he proposes to her.
Well, and
that escalated quickly.
Well, and at Julie's apartment, Julie was telling Dorothy, you need to let him know.
You need to let him know. Right.
Which was the kind of the easy out of Dorothy telling Les, I'm a lesbian. But that didn't get to happen because he proposed.
Les, slow your roll, buddy.
Yeah, buddy.
It's being put in there as an issue. So Dorothy is walking home, or takes a cab home, but then is like walking to her apartment, Michael sort of talking to himself.
Yeah, he's kind of talking to himself like, how did I get myself into this mess? Blah, blah, blah. When she gets back to the apartment, Dr. Brewster, which I guess I don't know what his name is, he's just outside, like stalking her.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, I want to come in. I want to talk to you. And she's like, no, I'm tired. I'll just see you tomorrow. And he's like, please. And so she's like, no. Then she goes upstairs, and all of a sudden Dr. Brewster is like singing outside at the top of his lungs. And so she opens the window and she's like, fine, just come upstairs, because he was embarrassing her. And then he like essentially tries to put the move on her like hardcore. And
Very aggressively.
it was a little cringy. And that's when Jeff walks in on them and just kind of stares at them like, what have you gotten yourself
What?
into here, Michael? Like
Yeah.
what in the world? And that's when Dr. Brewster's like, I'm so sorry, I didn't know, basically making it seem like I didn't realize that she had like a boyfriend or something. And he introduces himself and he's like, hey, I'm Jeff. I'm really sorry. And Dr. Brewster leaves. Sandy shows up and starts banging on the door after Dr. Brewster left. And she's just banging on the door and she's like, it's Sandy. And Michael runs into the bedroom and has to take off the Dorothy clothes and jumps in the shower. And Jeff is trying to kind of cover for him, and he's like, Sandy, what are you doing here? But doesn't open the door. And finally, she gets inside and he just kind of explains, well, I've been sick and I'm sorry that I haven't called you. And, again, just lying to her. And then, basically Michael comes out of the shower and he's like, hey, I'm really sorry. Let me give you these chocolates that Les gave Dorothy. And
Not
he's like,
realizing there was still a card.
yeah, and he's like, it's your favorite. It's the chocolate covered cherries. And he has no idea what's in there.
No.
But he just gives them to her to like pacify her. This is when Sandy asks if he's gay because the chocolates are from a guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, no. What does he say is the reason that the card says that?
Oh gosh, I don't remember.
Something about they must have put the wrong card on it or something. I don't know. But so she takes the candy anyway.
Like, this is my door prize.
Right. Thanks. I'll just take these anyway. So
These are mine now.
yeah, that was weird. So the next morning I think Michael goes to George's office and he's like, hey, I need out of this contract. I can't keep up this, persona as Emily Kimberly. It's too hard and I can't do it for a whole other year. He goes back to the studio, and this is like, it would be the next time that he sees Julie. And, she kind of walks past him and gives him this weird look. And she goes into her dressing room and Emily follows. And she has like a gift with her and knocks on the door and says, hey, I'm really sorry about what happened, tries to give her this gift. And Julie's like, hey, I can't be friends with you anymore.
It's just too awkward in the love triangle.
Yeah, I can't be friends with you anymore. And they go live. The show is live because, somebody's always spilling something on the recordings.
Yeah.
And they have to keep re-recording stuff. Like, what was it this time?
Seriously, it was
somebody
like
spilled like rubber cement on the. It was like,
right.
what? Every time, like, well, now we have to go live because we don't have the recording of this episode, so we're just gonna do it live. Which that's what you do. It's sort of like this scene where they're like, are they giving Emily Kimberly an award or something? And so she's like
Yeah.
kind of standing up on this stairwell and everybody's down below her like, yay, Emily Kimberly, you're like the best hospital administrator in the world. And and so Emily goes off script and just starts totally going off the rails. And this story like doesn't make any sense. And I had to keep rereading it because I'm like, what?
You weren't a soap opera watcher.
No, not at all.
It
I mean,
made
I get
total sense.
It's very apropos for
I get it.
a soap opera.
I get what happened. Yes, that's definitely like a soap opera thing to do. But the story behind what happened, I was like, well, wait a minute. So like
super convoluted.
So
but
like
yeah.
Emily Kimberly's mom worked at the hospital years ago, and I don't even know, like something about how the mother had another child that like no I don't even know what the story was, but so essentially, like Emily is stuttering, she can't really, get out this story, and then she reveals herself as Emily's brother who is vindicating his sister's name.
Yes.
He takes off the wig and reveals himself as Michael.
No, Edward Kimberly.
Oh, Edward
Yes.
Kimberly, correct.
Yeah.
So reveals himself as
Yes.
Edward Kimberly on the
Yes.
show, and the producers are actually like, "Oh my god!" They're mad, but they're also like,
This is genius.
"Wow, this is
Like,
gold."
this is soap opera gold right
Yes.
here, people.
And so
They cut.
and Dr. Brewster, this is the best line. Dr. Brewster is like, "Does Jeff know?"
Does Jeff know? It was fantastic.
That was great.
And then Julie is obviously pissed.
Yeah.
Like, wait a
Furious.
minute. You mean to tell me this whole time you've been a guy?
Yeah.
And she walks over and she punches him right in the stomach.
Yeah. To me, what it looks like. So Michael is trying to like do the right thing. And so who's saying he's creepy? Is it Janine?
Oh, because he
Janine.
was sitting at the bar just like staring at Julie's father, like from afar, just like, hunched over, staring at him like, hey.
Well, he
But,
purposely went up to this
I know
bar to
he
find
I
him.
know he did, but the way that he's just sort of creepily staring at him from the corner is like,
There's a lot of staring
ugh.
that's inappropriate in this movie.
Yeah, he was being creepy.
But it was a great scene. And it was a
It
great
was a good scene.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
between him and
Some
Les.
closure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he gives Les the ring back.
Yeah.
And basically says, hey, I'm sorry that things went down this way. And Les says, I hope that you enjoyed the chocolates.
Well, he laughed
And he
past
tells
Sandy.
him, he goes, I gave them to a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gave him and he kind of looks at him like, huh? None of this makes sense. Then he tells Les that he actually is in love with Julie.
Yeah.
And
Les says wearing a dress is a funny way of showing it. Yeah.
It is. Kind
That's
of.
very true.
And then he wants to know if Julie ever mentions him. And he's like, girl, no. No,
no.
she doesn't. And then we get to the final scene of the movie.
Yep. Where Michael is kind of standing outside of the studio, leaning against like a creeper van. And he's just staring at her while she walks out of the.
It was just a news van, wasn't it?
I don't know, but it looked like
it was a total kidnapper van.
Yeah, like
100%.
total
Yeah.
kidnapper van. He's just standing there like waiting for her to walk out, and then she walks out and sees him and she's like, hell no. And she starts booking it up the street, and he follows her and he's like, hey, how are you doing? Hey, just so you know, like I did this for the work. I didn't mean to hurt anybody, especially not you. And Julie just says like, hey, I miss Dorothy. Like, I miss who she was to me. And he says that he was a better man with her as a woman. And she kind of like,
yeah, you see her soften. She does really great in this scene where she softens and she's an actor, right? She's also an actor. And I think she then starts to see why he did it, because he told her in that why he did it. He just needed the work.
right.
He didn't mean for it to become all of this other stuff. He didn't mean to become what Dorothy became. That wasn't the intention. All he wanted was the money to do his friend's play.
Yep.
He did
And
a
so
full disclosure, which was good.
Right.
And so, so you see Julie kind of go, okay, I guess I don't have to be so mean to him.
But he also gives this line like, and we were already such very good friends. And that's when she kind of
realized that he's Dorothy.
Right. Well, can I borrow that one little yellow dress that
The
you had?
Halston one?
And and then that like goes into that, oh, the house what no,
Oh,
I don't
no.
think so.
You'll spill wine on it.
Yeah, no, I don't. And then so, you know, at least now they are at a friendship level, but it's
Mhm.
like implied that it'll be more than that.
Yeah, so they're kind of playful at this point, and they're walking down the street together, and she kind of pushes him because they're joking around, and then they side hug, and they're kind of walking down the street together with their arms around each other.
It's a nice little happily ever after.
Yeah, so I guess we need to know what our verdict is and what the cringe rating is. Carol?
So there have already been some articles that have come out about pretty much has it aged well. One article in talking about how it's aged poorly, has said perhaps nothing in general has aged quite worse than the act of cross dressing for insincere purposes. A man forming himself as a woman with the stereotypical characteristics of a woman, the big hair, long dress, heavy makeup, in order to advance in his career, is very much true to the gender dynamics of the 80s. For someone experiencing real, excuse me, gender identity crisis, watching a movie centered around a temporary gender swap for business purposes could be flagrantly insensitive. And do we feel like this was an identity crisis? I mean,
No,
it wasn't Michael Dorsey
I think he was too
wanting to
wrapped
be a
up.
woman.
He was too wrapped up
Right.
in himself. It had
Right.
nothing
It
to do
wasn't
with being a
wasn't
woman.
his identity.
No,
Yeah, I think he was just acting.
he was just
Right.
acting. That's all he was doing.
Yeah,
Right.
So I feel like this article kind of mistook
I think it did
the point of
too.
the movie.
I think
Yeah,
it did too. I
they
think,
didn't get the point.
yeah.
Um, so then talking about how it has aged well in the same article, we go over to the Roger Ebert quote again, saying that this film is the kind of movie with a capital M that they used to make in the 40s, which Kristen referenced. If the goal is to teach the audience something, don't lecture them, entertain them. For as much as the act of cross dressing on Michael's part is a move born out of eccentric desperation, Sidney Pollack never directs the film's tone to total buffoonery, which I totally agree. He has a steady hand behind the camera that causes the film to be lacking manipulation.
Yes.
There is emotional maturity in this film that is lacking in so many other 80s comedies.
I agree
And
with that.
I totally agree with
Yeah.
that. And as I said, I don't remember this film being this way. Like
Really?
the do not remember the script being I thought it was Dustin Hoffman's character wanting to be a woman and
yes,
how that was perceived. I did not remember it nearly how the actual script is. Um,
correct. Then again, I was 5 when it came out, so I don't think that we
I
really
remember
knew.
watching this like on VHS at home in the late 80s. We definitely had it.
Did
And I
you
remember
dance or
watching it.
act to it?
Shut up.
You
You can
I don't think there was
GTFO.
any dancing or
I
acting on.
know, I know. I'm making fun of Carol.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
You're
We will
welcome.
get to dancing and acting in other films.
Oh,
Yeah.
for
So
sure.
yeah. So
Uh,
I cringeworthy wise, what are we doing? A scale of 5 stars?
yeah. 0 to 5 on the cringe meter.
I would say a 2. I mean, I wasn't too cringed out. It was just the love triangle that kind of cringed me and making sense of who's who and in what scenario we're in and having Dorothy not being technically an actual human, it was a character, and just kind of trying to translate how that was working into the real life. That's where my cringe was. So yeah, I would give it a 2. I thought this was very actually a very good film.
Yeah, I'd say I
I
also
agree.
give it about a 2. I think there's some scenes, like the scenes with Les at the house, that was kind of cringy.
Mhm.
I think maybe the hair stroking was a little cringy. Um, the fact that like Michael at the beginning at his party was kind of a womanizer, and kind of the way that he talked to some of these other actresses. Um, that was kind of cringy. But yeah, I'd give it a 2. I think that this is a great movie. I think that I didn't realize how good it was until, rewatching it now as an adult. Um I like the storyline. I think it's cute, and it's a definite rewatch. I just never really thought to watch it because I
Right.
just assumed what it
Agreed.
was, and it, it's a good movie. I think it's great. I love Bill Murray's character. He's hilarious.
Mhm.
And I think that Dustin Hoffman is just a gem in this movie.
Would you watch it on a Saturday afternoon on AMC?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that I'm not going to put this on the cringe scale. I think that if I have to, I'll give it a 1. It was well written. I think it was, you know, well acted. I It was a fantastic cast. The cringe in it is not unlike cringe we still see today. So it's kind of like modern day cringe. I don't think that Michael dressing as a woman was an affront to anybody. He was doing what he had to do to get work. And that is very well established
Very.
within the first 10 minutes of the movie.
Mhm.
So it won so many awards. We talked about it. Or maybe we didn't talk about the awards Tootsie won. But it did win, Jessica Lange got Best Supporting Actress.
In 1988, the film was selected for the preservation in the U.S. National Film Registry by the Library of Congress as culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant.
Right. I mean, it won a decent amount of awards. I think they're all well deserved.
Yeah.
And I would rewatch it.
Yep.
Agreed.
Love Tootsie.
So Tootsie gave us a surprise feminist arc, some questionable choices, all wrapped in a nice Oscar nominated bow.
We laughed, we squinted, we reconsidered a lot of our 80s movies crushes.
Thanks for rewatching Tootsie with us. If you're enjoying the nostalgia, the critique, and the chaos, hit follow and leave us a review, preferably while dressed as your most convincing soap opera alter ego.
And tell us, was Tootsie ahead of its time, or just trying to get a call back?
This is the Shermer High Alumni Association. We'll see you in the next episode.
Bye.
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 Thank you.